Hello learners, today we will start discussion on colloids, which is lesson 8 of module 3 of your chemistry curriculum. And in part 1 of this program, we will discuss what are colloids, how are they discovered. I am Dr. Vijay Sarda, retired associate professor, Zakir Hussain Delhi College, University of Delhi. I welcome you in this program of chemistry at senior secondary course. Today we will discuss lesson 8 as I mentioned earlier. This is part 1 of the program, and the objective of this program is that after watching this program you should be able to explain the difference between true solutions, colloids and suspensions, and also identify phases of colloids. There are large number of items that we use in our daily life which belong to the category of colloids. Let us see some of these. This is sample of cheese, then soap, then cold cream, butter, moisturizing lotion, hair gel. All these items, they belong to the category of substances systems that we call colloids. Now, how these colloids are different from the other normally known things? Recall from lesson 7 about solutions. If we mix two substances, there are two possibilities. One is that solid dissolves in the liquid and a solution is formed. This is a homogeneous system which is formed. Second possibility is if we add a solid to liquid, it does not dissolve. In that case, suspension is formed. Now, colloids, they lie in between these two cases, that is, they are neither solutions nor suspensions, but they are heterogeneous systems. How were colloids studied? They were studied during the study of the phenomena of diffusion. During the study of diffusion of different substances, it was found that solutions of crystalline substances like salts, sugar, dyes, they diffuse fast. You can see in the picture that when a drop of ink is put in water, it spreads out, that is diffuses, and diffusion is quite fast. I have also prepared a sample of same. I put drop of ink in the water and it was hardly 10 minutes back, and you can see that they have almost completely mixed up. That means rate of diffusion is very fast in this case. On the other hand, if we take substances like glue, albumin, then gelatin, this type of substances, they diffuse very slowly. You can see in the picture that some gum arabic was put in the water and picture was taken after few hours. Even then, it is observed that most of the gum arabic is settled in the bottom and has not diffused. Here also I have prepared a sample. I have taken gum and mixed it with water. You can see most of the gum is still settled in the bottom, and this was prepared few hours back. So, in this case we can conclude that such substances like albumin, gelatin, gum, etc., their rate of diffusion is very slow. These observations were made by Thomas Abraham, and he introduced the term colloidal for such substances. The Thomas Abraham, you have heard about him in the lesson on the gaseous state. One of the gas laws is named after him, if you recall, that is the Graham's law of gaseous diffusion. So, he studied the phenomena of diffusion not only in gases, on the basis of which he gave the gas law. He also studied the diffusion of solids in different liquids and different types of solids. And during this study, he observed that certain substances diffuse very slowly. Such substances were given the name colloid by him, and because of his pioneering work, Graham is known as father of colloid chemistry. The term colloid has been derived from two terms, namely colla and oids. Colla means glue, while oids means like. So, taken together, the term colloid means glue like. That means the substances whose behavior is glue like as far as diffusion is concerned, It is not only the diffusion property, many other properties of such substances are different from what we generally observe in case of other mixtures. What is so special about colloids? Why their behavior is different? The main reason is size of the particle in colloids. In colloids, the particle size is bigger than the size of particles present in solutions, but smaller than the size of particles in suspensions. That means, colloidal state lies in between the solutions, which in this context are called true solutions, and suspensions. When we mix two substances, then the mixture which is formed, it may show one of the following properties. One possibility is that a true solution is formed, second possibility is a colloid is formed, and third possibility is that a suspension is formed. So, basically these are three possibilities. Whenever we mix one solid into a liquid, then three possibilities are there. Now, let us see samples of these true solution and colloid. So, mixing of two substances can result in the formation of any of the following: number 1 true solution, number 2 colloid, and third a suspension. This is the case of true solution. Here you can see solutions of many colors. They are all transparent, homogeneous, and other properties that particle size is less than 1 nanometer, that is particle of the solute. Then if we try to filter these solutions, they can easily pass through ordinary filter paper as well as animal membrane. Because solution can pass through these ordinary filter paper and animal membrane, no separation of solute and solvent is possible by using these materials. Thirdly, if we keep solution for long period of time, nothing settles down. The substance remains in the dissolved state. Then the particles of the solute are so small, they are not only invisible to naked eye, they are also invisible to microscope. And such substances, they diffuse at very fast rate, as we have seen earlier. So, these are the basic properties of true solutions. Now, second possibility we said when we mix two substances is the formation of colloids. So, here you can see milk sample. Milk is an example of colloidal system. What are the main properties of colloids? Number 1, they are heterogeneous in nature. Heterogeneous means that composition is not same throughout. Then second thing is particle size is now bigger than in case of solutions. Particles of the colloidal systems, their size is between 1 to 100 nanometer. And third, they can pass through ordinary filter paper, but not through animal membranes or parchment paper. Because they can pass through ordinary filter paper, no separation is possible by ordinary filtration. However, using ultrafiltration, the separation of dispersed particles is possible. What is ultrafiltration? In ordinary filter paper, the pore size is big. We can decrease the pore size by making a coating of collodion, about which we will learn little later. So, a thin layer of collodion is put on the ordinary filter paper. Now, the pore size is reduced, and with the reduced pore size, the particles in the colloids are not able to pass through it and they can be separated. Then they do not settle down. If we keep the colloidal solution for any length of time, these particles remain dispersed in the colloidal system, and they are visible through ultra microscope, although they are invisible to naked eyes, and their rate of diffusion is extremely slow. Now, third possibility is formation of suspension. So, here you can see some particles suspended in water. You can see the particles, they are gradually settling down at the bottom. The main properties of suspensions are that number 1, they are heterogeneous, composition is not same throughout. then particle size is bigger than that of colloids, that means it is bigger than 100 nanometer. Then suspensions do not pass through even ordinary filter paper. So, it is possible to separate suspended particles by using ordinary filtration process. So, separation is possible. Then these particles, as we discussed earlier also, they settle down on keeping. Then these particles are so big that they are visible even to naked eyes. And in case of suspensions, no diffusion is possible. Now, we will look at two samples, one of colloidal system and other of suspension. You can see this is colloidal system, it is milk, and you can see apparently it is homogeneous system, although it is actually heterogeneous. Why it is appearing homogeneous? Because particles are small and we cannot see individual particles using our naked eyes. But then we can keep this milk forever and no particle will settle down. Although it is heterogeneous system, the particles remain suspended. And on the other hand, if we take suspension of some earth and put it in the water, you can see the particles here, they are suspended in water, but gradually they are settling down. Particles are big enough, you can see using your naked eyes, and in this case their separation of suspended particles is easy. We can use ordinary filter paper and pass the suspension through it. The suspended particles are retained by the filter paper, whereas the solvent, it just passes through the filter paper. In colloids, basically they consist of different phases, and before that let us see the summary of the differences between the true solution, colloids and suspensions. This is summary of what we learnt just now. One is size of the particle, second is filterability, third is the settling property, and fourth is visibility of particles. Then next is separation of the suspended particles, and lastly the diffusion. So, the properties that we discussed, they are summarized in this table. Now, colloids are heterogeneous system. They consist of at least two phases. What are these phases? One is dispersed phase and second is dispersion medium. Dispersed phase, it is the substance present in small proportion. Dispersion medium, it is the medium in which the colloidal particles are dispersed. Then dispersed phase consists of particles of colloidal size, that is their size should be between 1 to 100 nanometer, whereas dispersion medium particles are much smaller, their size must be less than 1 nanometer. So, these are the phases which constitute any colloidal system, dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Now, let us take an example. In the picture you can see a sol of sulfur. Sol is a term used for colloidal solution where a solid substance is dispersed in a liquid phase. So, this solution, this sol of sulfur, you can see is translucent, it is not transparent, that means it is not completely homogeneous, and let us try to identify the phases in this system. Here the dispersed phase is sulfur particles, whereas dispersion medium is water. So, same is situation with all colloidal systems, that they consist of one dispersed phase and other dispersion medium. So, let us summarize what we have learned today. Firstly, the name colloid was given by Thomas Graham, who was Scottish chemist, and it was given to substances that diffuse very slowly like gum. Mixing of two substances can result in the formation of true solution or colloid or suspension. These are three possibilities, and lastly the basic difference in the three is in the size of the particles, due to which they differ in their visibility, filterability, separation, settling down, and the rate of diffusion. These are the main properties which are dependent upon the particle size. So, learners, we have learned basics about the colloids, what are colloidal systems, what are their characteristics and how they differ from the true solutions and suspensions. In the next program, we will discuss about classification of colloids. Thank you.